Another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. Before we get into this segment, by the end of this video, I want you to do a few things for me. First of all, if you like the video, hit the like button. Please do. If you don't like it, hit unlike. It's okay. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Sometimes, as Jimmy Dore would say, you find yourself unsubscribed and you need to make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you can be notified when a new video is being dropped. Whoop, there it is. And more importantly, the super chat will be on for this segment. So if you want to donate toward the efforts of Bob TV, that's freely up to you. Any amount will help toward the growth of this channel. My name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Let's get into it. Whoopi Goldberg goes on The View talking about, I hope Biden make his wife the Surgeon General.
Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General. His wife.
Yeah,
Joe Biden's wife, because he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah, I
could be wrong.
Maybe
I thought she was.
I think she's a teacher, but
she's not that kind of doctor, lady. What is it with these people who claim to be they know everything and they got all this money, man? I mean, obviously you can be dumb and still have money. I'm dumb and ain't got no money. You can be rich and still be dumb. Whoopi Goldberg gonna sit up there and say, I hope Dr. Jill Biden become our Surgeon General. She is not a surgeon. She should never have the title of a surgeon. Surgeon General has something to do with the medical field. She is not a doctor in medical science or medical anything. She's a doctor of education. So let's keep her in education. What I would do, you can't make your wife in charge of DOE, but you can have her work closely with DOE. Better it. Tell true history. But that ain't going to happen because Joe Biden's a bigot and his wife, she married a bigot. And, it ain't going to happen. They're not going to teach true education. They're not going to teach true black education. No. Get out of here. Miss me with that.
Yeah. Jill Biden is one hell of a doctor, says Karen. She should be Surgeon General. Just don't ask her to commit surgery. Don't ask for advice on your coronary artery disease because she's not actually a physician. She's a doctor of education, which means basically nothing. On Friday, the Wall Street Journal pointed this out. They ran an op-ed by Joe Epstein, made a true and obvious point. Jill Biden is not a doctor. No. Maybe in the same sense Dr. Pepper is. In 2007, at the age of 55, she got a doctorate in education, so she's got the same degree as Dr. Bill Cosby. In 2009, back when America was a lot more honest, Joe Biden explained why his wife got that degree. Quote, she said, I was so sick of the mail coming to Senator and Mrs. Biden, I wanted to get mail addressed to Dr. and Senator Biden. That's the real reason she got her doctorate. In other words, Jill Biden was diagnosed with a very bad case of status anxiety, and she decided to cure that, as so many do in our country, with another pointless title. That's all true, it's all obvious, therefore you're not allowed to say it. The Washington Post columnist called Joe Epstein a weird, grumpy, elitist man. Because he told the truth, which is the one sin in America in 2020. Of course, Michelle Obama.
Now, we'll stop Tucker there. Tucker. Had an opportunity to meet Tucker bigot behind at a Jill Stein was in town, and she was talking about when she was, they let her come on and do a debate with Gary Johnson, and I met him before we went in. Guy would charm you. He's a charming guy. Charm. You ever wonder why snakes need bow the knee to a snake charmer? Because no matter how vicious the snake is, it is the job of the charmer to calm the snake down. And this dude is a snake charmer. You have your snakes and you got your snake charmers. And oftentimes, to the snakes, the charmer is their enemy, even though it's hard for him to be an enemy because he's so charming. This guy's going to sit here and mock somebody going to school to get a PhD and say he's not a real doctor. This man is dumb enough to actually sit there on TV with all his money to spout dumb statements as if you are a doctor in education. You're not really a doctor. You got the same doctorate as Bill Cosby. You might well call her Dr. Pepper. Well, first off, dude, we're not talking about a drink. We're talking about somebody who went to education for quite a while, paid their dues, and spent money. They're doctors. This guy's something else. Well, let's keep going.
From either Hawaii or Martha's Vineyard wrote a long Instagram message expressing her disappointment with the Wall Street Journal. It's racist or sexist or something. It's an ist for sure. But for all the performative outrage, none of this is new. For years, we've known about the Bidens, that they have deep class insecurity. This was Joe Biden back in 1988, for example.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect. I went to law school on a full academic scholarship, the only one in my class to have a full academic scholarship. In the first year in law school, I decided I didn't want to be in law school and ended up in the bottom 2/3 of my class, and then decided I wanted to stay, went back to law school, and in fact ended up in the top half of my class. I won the international moot court competition. I was the outstanding student in the political science department at the end of my year. I graduated with 3 degrees from undergraduate school and 165 credits, only need 123 credits, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
A very high IQ, and my wife's a doctor. He has more hair now, too. Lisa Booth is not a doctor.
Now, I'm not going to go into this, but that was funny. Joe Biden did lie. He do have insecurity. He do have a tendency to make himself look bigger than he really is. And he gets caught in it, and then he looks stupid. But Tucker Carlson, bruh, you ain't all that either. You do the same thing with your many, many lies. Now, if ever you talked about a smart, smug, arrogant idiot, it's Tucker Carlson. Some of you people love him. Occasionally, Tucker Carlson can be right about something, but wrong about most things. So I don't get caught up in the rightness of Tucker Carlson or the rightness of Donald Trump or the rightness of Joe Biden. Everybody can be right about something, but yet wrong about most things. It's just like taking the test. I mean, even if you didn't study, if it's a multiple choice test, you'll probably get a lot right, but most wrong. Let me tell you my summary of this. Dr. Jill Biden, she got the education, she earned a doctorate degree, and she should be called doctor. Now, in certain sphere of life, we don't care about your title, bruh. We don't care about your title. See, I didn't call Ben Carson Dr. Ben Carson all throughout his 4 years as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Honestly speaking, I thought he should have kept his doctor title and became Surgeon General. Even as Surgeon General, you don't say Surgeon General Dr. So-and-so. You don't say Dr. Carson, the head of, So when you have positions in politics, So guys, I apologize for technical difficulties on this video. I'm having some really issue with one of the softwares that I use. But my point of this particular story is, you go to school, you earn your PhD, you become a doctor. Understand this, it is nobody's obligation to address you as doctor. It is not the law, it is not required, and it's not disrespectful if they don't address you as Dr. So-and-so. And for you to demand somebody to address you by the name is a little cocky, arrogant, condescending, and downright superior. Because you want to show how superior you are to the next man by using that title. And I'm not a fan of that. Okay? Now, here's where I think your title should be used. If you got your doctorate in a particular field, while you at work in that field, you should be respected by your title. Once you come off that field on another field that your doctorate degree has no bearing in, you should not get upset when people decide not to call you doctor. That's their choice. If they want to address you by doctor and it make you feel good, and your eyes roll in the back of your head every time you hear somebody say that, then by all means let that person do it. But they don't work for you. They don't work in your industry. They do not have to call you by your title, by your degree. At the end of the day, you're still a human being. And the only difference between you and the other person is you got more education and you had the ability to go get a higher education and obtain your doctorate degree. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people who have the same ability but could not because they don't have the money nor the time. And some of them downright don't have the smarts that you probably have in that area. So again, I am not for demanding somebody calling you a doctor or whatever unless you work in that field. That's just where I am. If you're working in that field, you can address them. Like if you're a medical doctor, you could just say medical doctor is doctor. But outside the field, I ain't got to call you Dr. So-and-so, and you shouldn't get mad if I don't call you Dr. So-and-so. I don't work for you. You're my doctor. I'll call you Dr. So-and-so when I get to the doctor's office, and it's my choice whether I call you doctor after I leave the office. So for them to try to put the pressure on is Miss Dr. Jill Biden, if you're nasty. No, bruh. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. In her field of education, she should be addressed by Dr. Jill Biden. In the educational field, that should be a demand. Out of respect, you're working in the educational field. Out of respect, you respect her or him as doctor. Outside, you're at Chuck E. Cheese. I ain't got to call you Dr. Jack. I can go to you and say Jill. So for those who are on the right saying, drop the title, we don't care nothing about your title. Bro, title do mean something. Don't make light about her hard work as a doctor, get a PhD. I don't even make light of hard work for people getting honorary PhD because obviously they had to have some kind of favor with these people to get an honorary degree. I have more respect for the person who earned their degree than the person who's given their degree. Now, Dr. Bill Cosby got all kind of honorary degrees, but Dr. Bill Cosby actually went to the university in Philly, actually got his doctorate. So Tucker Carlson, to make light of his achievement is dumb of you. I'm quite sure you probably got an honorary doctorate. And but you do notice even these people who got these doctorate degrees, they're not going by, most of them don't go by their doctorate name. A lot of people use that doctorate name to make them feel like they're superior over you and to look down on you. And like I said, I'm not against the use of your title. I'm against of you demanding people to respect you and call you by your title who is not in that field of study that you got the title in, who don't work in that area. I don't care if you are a pastor of a church. I could call you a pastor out of respect, but I don't have to. And you shouldn't be mad if I don't call you pastor. Especially if you're not my pastor. Especially if I grew up went to school with you and we've been boys all these years. You Chuck, bro. You're going to always be Chuck. You may be Pastor Chuck to them, but you Chuck to me. So that's all I got to say about this stuff. The nerves of Tucker Carlson to go after Joe Biden on her, not the title issue, using the title issue, on the fact that she got a title. And to make a laugh or mockery of a PhD in education is not as good or not as serious as a PhD as a brain surgeon or a gynecologist and things like that. Those things are very important. I don't agree with him crapping on people who want to use their title, but I do stand in a position that nobody has to use your title unless they work in that field where you got your title. Outside of your field, don't expect nobody to address you by your title. You ain't all that. You're no different from anybody else. You nothing outside of that field where you got your professional degree. Outside of that field, you're no different from anybody else. You probably got a little bit more smarts. Probably got a little more money. But that don't make you no better than anybody else. So I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but it is what it is. I'll holler at you later. Peace.